Ladies and gentlemen, we're in for a treat. We have a very wonderful lady here, Jessica Dunn. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me again, Kathy.
You are a wonderful guest to have on the show because you have your finger on so many things going on in the community. While I was driving here today, I was trying to think of all the things that you've helped me with, and you introduced me to the 100 Women That Care.
Yes.
That's a wonderful group.
Yes.
Why don't you just tell people what they are, just so we can plug them?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I have been a part of 100 Women Who Care Regina since 2019, and I actually became a committee member this last year and a half. And it's basically a group of women who give a damn about the community and want to do good and actually see a big impact with their donations. So we meet every quarter, 4 times a year. We each donate $100, and we listen to a few pitches of amazing local charities that really could use the money. And we say 100 women who care, but it's like 100 plus women who care. We're almost closer to 200 women right now. So it's kind of like a magical little night where we all get together and we can hear right from the grassroots of what is really needed in our community. And we just kibosh the red tape and just donate the cash.
You guys, so they literally have the whole group of women e-transfer the $100 to the group. Each one of them, I think it was. Hey, is it something like that you guys do? You all e-transfer them?
Well, yeah,
or send the money.
Yeah, we either like do an e-transfer or like stick it right to the credit card.
It's just like you keep it simple.
Yeah.
It's just like, here you go. You guys need the money. Jess invited me to one, and I sat through it and listened. And I think it was for a soup kitchen. For outside before winter hit, they were needing money. I'm like, that sounds like a pretty good reason. Yeah. And then there was, it was very good causes. And these people, you can just tell, were like needing the money, and they get the money immediately. Yeah. It's none of this like having to do this or that. It was just like, boom, here you go. Do what you were saying you would.
Yeah.
Good job.
It's really cool. I think we've raised over $500,000 for the city in the last 10 years. This is our 10th year. Going at it. I also have to plug the Atlas because they help us have a venue for us to go to.
They put you guys in there.
They put us up.
Oh, that's huge.
They put us up because they know how big it is to help out our communities, and there's such a local support regardless. So a good little
that's
shout
amazing.
Out to Atlas if you guys are looking for a place
they're wonderful too.
Go see them.
Well, so there was that, and then I love, like, this winter. Over Christmas, since you work for JC Realty, you guys put on something for your clients over the holidays, and you had myself and a couple other makers or small business owners in the city. The Alt, her stuff is so cool. Have you guys checked it out?
It's unreal. She's one of my favorite local stores for sure.
And she's been at it for a while.
Yeah, I think she opened up just at COVID.
Oh my gosh.
I think COVID hit the week she opened her doors.
Seriously.
I don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure it was around that. And she's been crushing it. She's in the warehouse district.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And she has refillable stations and like stuff that you are environmentally friendly to use rather than being throwing stuff in the garbage. And I love that about her. And then there was another maker there that did laser wood stuff and acrylic.
Yes, Forrest and Farrow.
Yes.
Robin Torrey, she has been a staple at with JC Realty. She helps us with our possession gifts. And so she's just moved into like acrylic work,
beautiful.
And it's really beautiful stuff. She's so talented. So she's done a ton of signs and ornaments for us over the years. And we just thought, okay, we have 3 incredible clients that like we use their stuff. And yeah, QC Gifts is in there too, to help us out with our everyday work, that we wanted to bring them back and support them. Giving back locally and supporting local business is a huge part of who we are too, because we are a small business. We are a little boutique real estate company in Regina.
The best.
Oh, thank you.
The best. But you guys don't just, the reason why you are the best is because you get in there and you help. You help with the food kitchen. I've seen you guys give to people that need toques, who need supplies. You get your daughters involved. Everybody's there helping.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of us are from small towns, and I think just the Regina is like you pull together and you help, and you when you see need, you have to.
But I think it is the people of JC.
It
Girl.
helps. It helps. I think we all have a common value there.
Yes.
And it's very very palpable there for sure.
It's amazing. You guys do a lot, even like fun little family events where here's like a scavenger hunt and at the end we're somewhere with gifts. Like, I really appreciate what you guys do. And when we were talking about coming onto the show today, we even talked about how we wanted to talk about how we can support our community. So getting chatty with Kathy is definitely one of those things.
Yes.
Like, I started this because I thought, geez, we don't have a good voice for, small businesses and people in the community to just come for free and talk about what's going on.
Right. I mean, and like, I feel like no small act is not needed in our city right now.
We need a lot.
We need a lot. And I say, like, hope comes when we see action. And if we can just do little things here and there, and we have a platform, so we're going to use it for that. We're in real estate, so if people aren't thriving in our community and people don't feel safe in our community, then we have a problem as a realtor. Like, how are we supposed to sell the properties when that's happening? And we are proud to be here. And it's not just a Regina problem. It's a nationwide problem right now. Economy is really struggling right now at the moment. And we are seeing it. We're seeing it on our streets. We're seeing a drug epidemic. We're seeing a homeless epidemic right now in our city.
Foodlessness.
Definitely a huge increase in the use of the food banks. We were just there over Christmas doing our Christmas hampers there, and we saw the stats on their on their reports this year, and it was very eye-opening and heartbreaking at the same time. So again, we went there to help. We made over 1,000 Christmas hampers in one day, and we got to deliver them as well. So that was just it's heartbreaking, but it's also like we need to do it just to get awareness out there as well.
But how did you guys know to do that? Because there's all of us have small businesses.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I think you just got to pick something that you really want to focus on and look around and get used to what's out there. I mean, I think I'm just so used to being on social media because that is part of my job at JC Realty. I do the marketing there. That I follow a lot of nonprofits. I am reading and I'm following who follows them. So I'm seeing extra things of what's happening. I come from the nonprofit world too, so that was probably another in for me. And it's just, okay, if they are posting something or an event or they are doing a donation drive of something, I am immediately posting that. Not only on the 100 Women Who Care pages, but also on mine and JC Realty. So it's getting amplified times 3 on 3 different platforms. So I always say, even if it's you wanting to get involved with just something small as a small business or just a local citizen of Regina, you don't need to be a small business owner to raise awareness for these things. And we also the majority of us at JC Realty have small kids, and we want to be a role model for them as well. So that's what you're saying, when we bring our girls in or we bring our kids in to help, that's just a no-brainer for us. And for example, I've been doing the coldest night of the year for I think 9 years running. I have to double check and see what my numbers are, but that's something me and my daughter started wanting to do for a long time, and she was just little when we started. She's still little. she's 13 this year. Yeah. So we've been doing it as a family. My nieces and nephews are doing it now. We've had our siblings and our parents help us out with that. And it's just not even that we need to raise a ton of money, but it's just more so the awareness of what's really happening in our city.
Yeah. It's cold. Piece. Yeah. Especially when you have that -30 out.
Yes.
And then to imagine not having a roof over your head or toque and mitts and all the
shelters are full. There's nowhere to go. Yeah,
we need these things. We have weather that would literally, if you fell asleep in the wrong place, could kill you.
Yes. Yeah. Within minutes, frostbite could do serious damage. So yeah, no, it's definitely needed, and I think that's our whole premise this year, especially for myself. I think I have a platform to use, so that's my push. I am pushing local. I am pushing helping the charities that support the people that need it the most, that are struggling right now. And I feel it's not only better for my soul, but it's also better for everybody involved.
I agree completely.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing that. people like advocates like you that make our community better. So
yeah.
it's really important what you're doing.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. No, and even like to support small business, you don't have to spend a ton of money.
I have to plug what you did.
Oh.
It was so nice. Okay. So here I am, just, I don't know, and all of a sudden I'm like, why is Jessica ordering Christmas? Like, I do this spice boil thing where it has like all of these like yummy smells, and you put it in a pot and you boil it. And it's definitely a great seller at Christmas.
Yeah.
And then it was after Christmas, and I saw this order run through for a few of them, and I'm like, what is she doing? Like, I would have just given them to her because it's after season, right? But then I caught her doing something on her platform. She was talking about all three of us, of our small businesses, I think it was, or at least it was mine and somebody else's, I forget. Yeah. And you're like, look at this spice boil. I love it. It's not going to go bad. And one way you can help a small business is by like buying these things that are out of, it's
getting rid of Christmas stock.
Yeah. And I was like, that is so thoughtful. Yeah. I wanted to just jump out and hug you because like, it's true, people, like if you don't own your own business and you know that you're buying all this stuff, you don't know how much to buy before December 25th. Like you kind of collect a bit of stuff, and some stuff you don't want to carry over. And you mentioning that on your platform was so kind and thoughtful, and
it's
like
just a little thing, right?
It was a little thing, but you really were supporting my business.
Yeah, no, it was just one little idea I had in my head, like especially over what happened with the strike too, because like you didn't know where
it was
how
so
things
annoying.
were going to ship, you didn't know what you're going to need and when it was going to get to you, and so yeah, I picked 3 local businesses: Buckthorn, gift store, Alternative, of course, and you. And I knew you all had some Christmas stock that you wanted to get rid of, even like the sale rack, like get it gone so then they can bring in better stuff, right? And sometimes, it's a lot there that you got to get rid of, and it's just one little thing. Like
every little thing helps,
and like I buy things intentionally, so there's some things in there I'm like, I know I can use this very easily, or it could be saved for Christmas. And like my love language is gift giving, so like I'm giving to teachers and bus drivers, and just like we have lots of gifts for our clients as in real estate. So like I knew this stuff was going to get used regardless, and it was just like a little plug I could do to help these amazing local businesses. Another thing you can do that is super free: just go on Google and give them a review.
Yes.
A service or
the
a
reviews
product.
are huge, and it helps with the algorithm of people looking at your site.
It is worth their weight in gold. It's so big just to get, you're Googling something like local Saskatchewan artists or like gifts that are locally made in Saskatchewan, and you pop up if you say the right things. So telling people what kind of problem the company solved for you, what kind of feelings they gave to you, how amazing the product is, what benefits they got from it. It is such a huge thing that you can do for free. It takes like 30 seconds.
Yes. So it's a very good one, and it definitely helps the businesses, because really, like, a website's a portal and people don't know if it's a real business or not. So those comments and those thoughts make people realize, oh, this is a real business. Yes. Like, I feel comfortable purchasing online. Right. It's really important.
Yes, that's a massive.
Yes.
So little things like that to help small businesses. Rave about it with a friend. Talk about it on your social platforms. Tag them. Go to their events. Maybe they have workshops.
Ask them to come to your events.
Yes.
We like that. We like it.
I was not sure if that was we didn't know how that was going to go, but yes, that's huge. It's so huge.
You know what? Here's the thing, as a business owner, all events, even if you're not like seeing the biggest lineup, are important, because you meet somebody, or they're like, I remember Claire was there, one of your mortgage
lenders, yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And I went to high school, and she goes, Kathy, I need to talk to you about getting these boxes for my clients. Yeah. If she hadn't seen me that day, she wouldn't have thought of that. So there's always like residual. It works.
Yeah.
I love that stuff, and I like talking.
Yes, you do. And you're so great at it.
Oh,
And it's just one opportunity to expose a group to your products that they probably never even knew you existed.
So many. And then the contact information, I ended up adding them all to my newsletter. Like, it adds up.
Yeah, no, it helps.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
So while we're here and I have you, I feel so bad because for so many times you've come on the show and we never talk about real estate. So I said to Jess, I'm like, maybe we should actually talk about real estate this time.
Sure. I mean, that's the least favorite thing that I like to talk about. No, I'm joking. It's like constantly in my brain, I like eat, breathe, and sleep real estate. So
I imagine. So as somebody who hasn't bought in a house now, I think I've actually stayed in a house now for like almost 4 or 5 years, which is amazing for us. We haven't been looking too much lately. So maybe tell me, what's the world like now in Regina's real estate?
It's crazy.
Okay.
I'll just say that. Why I say that is that we don't have a lot for sale.
Low stock.
Very low stock. The lowest inventory I've ever seen in 17 years.
Really?
Given it's like January, February right now, it's always low, but typically we see around 1,200 to 1,300 listings to make it like a balanced market here in Regina.
Okay.
Yesterday I looked, we're under 400.
So those people that are selling are going to get more.
So this is not a new story. Like, we've been low on stock since COVID, but I've never seen it this low before. Like, this is getting pretty crazy. I think it was like 32% less than last year.
And it was low last year.
And it was low last year. So just to give you some perspective on how that is. But we are seeing, we had the highest amount of sales we ever had in history last year.
What?
So the sales are happening, but there's nothing for a sale.
So you have to snap it up.
You have to snap it up. You need to have your research done. You need to be prepared to see your mortgage lender ahead of time. You need to be flexible. All that stuff. So
can I say, Jim is my realtor. He works at JC. Jim, you're the best. And I want to give you guys an example of why I like JC Realty so much, because this, I think, is critical. Buying a house when you sold your house and you're in the middle and you need a house right away. That's a tricky situation to be in. Yeah. And you need a really good realtor to kind of make sure that your deal goes through. Else you're like, our thought was, if we don't find a house now, we're homeless.
Right. Yeah.
So Jim, we want this house. Can you please help get us it?
Yeah.
And so what he did was things that we would have never thought of. He said, well, you know what we're going to do? Obviously our finances were already in place, because before we see a realtor, we always do that. And then what he did was, we're going to go through anything that you're not happy about, and we're going to list it right at the beginning. So he had to say, okay, the shingles weren't great. Let's take off $1,000 for that. This isn't great. Let's take off that. This is our offer. Take it or leave it. And so it was all up front. It wasn't like any surprises, and we got it.
Yeah.
And it was because he was a good negotiator, not just like a okay negotiator. He was prepared us. We didn't overprice. Like, we actually went under the listing price because we knew something had happened. So we kind of had some it was like, that was his weight. He was worth his weight in gold.
Yeah, no, for sure. Having an experienced agent in this type of market is huge, especially when there is a very limited stock to buy.
Negotiations.
That it's always such a crucial piece of the whole puzzle. But yeah, as a seller now, when you're like, okay, well, there's lots of things to consider too, because you're probably gonna have to buy something too. So now that's a little bit of a reverse story of what you had. You're not so much in the driver's seat when you're buying, but you are right now when you're selling. So right now, like, you could, I would say be prepared to have lots of showings. If your house is solid and you're priced correctly, you're going to get a lot of showings really fast. It's going to get overwhelming. You need to be prepared of where you're going to go, and almost have like if possible, if you could find a house before
you list,
almost go ahead and get that done before you're ready to list.
It's that crazy.
It's that crazy.
How stressful.
It's a little bit stressful, but there's ways to round things. Trying to like figure out, navigate the possession dates is also really tricky. And just, again, being very flexible. Maybe you had your heart set on something, but now maybe you need to look a little bit outside your parameters.
That's
maybe
what we did.
A little bit different neighborhood. Maybe you buy an older house and get mortgage plus improvements to fix it up the way you want it to, because
you can't find what you want.
You can't find what you want in your price point. And I'm foreseeing that that's not going to change much this year.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to take some time for us to build that inventory back up. And we are, I think this is coming out after February.
Yep.
In February. So by the time this comes out, we'll have heard if the interest rates are going up or down again. Probably, they're saying it's going to come down 0.25 basis points again, but I'm not sure about that. Now that the tariff threat is happening in the States, we'll see how that goes and what that looks like for our economy. So there's lots of factors that play into how the forecasting of what our real estate looks like. I would just maybe give your listeners a little bit of advice of like, don't always rely on what's happening in Vancouver and Toronto, because we are a very, very different market compared to them. So take that with a grain of salt.
I think one other thing that we really benefited from listing with JC Realty is actually you came into our house.
Yes, I did.
You did, and that's how we really started to get to know each other, because we've sold a few houses through JC, and I actually really enjoy doing that. I love real estate. And one thing that I found really beneficial was that second eye of walking through the house and just being like, let's get rid of all of this clutter.
Yeah.
Let's make your house look like you're not living in it, so that this person can envision living in it.
Right.
And that is a lot of work.
Yes. So we use, use me as a complimentary service to all of our sellers to help you get your house show ready, as I like to call it.
It's a game changer, you guys, because it makes a day and night difference on the look of your house for sure. And what we did was basically just, simplify it all.
Yeah.
Get rid of all the stuff.
Tuck the stuff away.
Pack it up.
Yeah. 7 out of 10 buyers cannot envision your house any other way than how you've presented it. So that's a lot of people, and they just don't have the capacity to imagine things. So it goes both ways. If it's too cluttered and messy, they'll feel too tight, it's dirty, even though it isn't. They just their brain automatically makes that decision for them. Whereas also if it's too stark and empty, it'll feel cold and unhomely, So there's a fine balance between having it too cluttered and very minimalistic. You need to kind of marry both of those. And I've been doing this for so long that I just kind of know what angles the photographer is going to be taking the videos and the photos, and what's going to show, what's going to...
The bed needs to look nice.
The beds, the closets, your counters, lots of little tricks we use to really amplify your property, because people will look at, they take less than 1 second
to decide
whether they're going to scroll next away from your property or not, or sit there and look at your pictures.
I imagine the internet's really changed the way you look at houses too, because years ago you would have a listing, you would look at it, you would read the specs, and you'd be like, okay, well, let's go look. But now you basically can go on a tour of the house through the way that they film it. So do you find that people are checking out more houses or less houses when they're looking?
It's a little bit of both. It depends. It depends on your personality, I think. There's some very type A people that do a lot of their research ahead of time. So they are doing all the homework. They are looking at all the videos. They are looking at all the measurements. They are doing a lot of that work. And then there's some that are we don't have the time for that. You pick out which ones you like.
Okay, I like that.
So it depends on the person. But I find that people are already making judgments instantly before they even walk in the door. So sometimes it's not a good thing either, because you go in there and pictures are way off compared to what it actually is in real life, or vice versa, where
they don't do the justice.
Yeah, the photos are horrible, but you walk in, you're like, oh my god, this is so nice. This guy took it with his
camera. That's how we got it, because nobody went to look at it because the pictures weren't great. But then when we went in there, we're like, this place is amazing.
Right. Yeah. So sometimes you just got to get in there and get the feel of it too. It has come a long way, but I still feel like it's not the same as going in there face to face. But it did help us a lot during COVID.
Oh yeah, that's when we bought.
And it helps a lot for people that are moving in from out of province. So we're going in there doing virtual tours with our phones sometimes on FaceTime as well.
Well, and they love Regina probably because they're coming from a place, I imagine, where the house is a little more expensive.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I really think that the market in Regina and how it's evolved as I've gotten older, and the way I look at it has changed. I remember we bought a house in Harbor Landing. I was so excited. Brand new area. And I thought that was the way to go. And then as I've gotten older, it's like, no, I actually like a different style of a neighborhood. And over the years, it's kind of like an evolution for myself and what I've liked. And I imagine a lot of people are like that in the city as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the average person moves every 6 years because of their lifestyle is changing.
Really?
And because maybe their finances have changed too a lot. So, but yeah, Regina is still one of the most affordable cities to live in right now, even though we don't feel it. It's like we are,
I don't know how other people afford it.
It's a tough balance for sure. And but yeah, we are like I said, we're one of the most affordable cities in the country to live in right now. I feel like prices will be going up this year. That's just my.
It always is. It sounds
just
like.
My gut. Like it's been going up a little bit here and there, but I feel like this is the year where we're gonna really start to see some big jumps.
We only have another minute or so, and we haven't talked about living with less.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
You got your elevator pitch? Let's go.
Okay, well, so I would say, again, connecting it back with my decluttering, I really noticed, and with myself too, that living with less these days really helps on the wallet, and it helps with your stress. And I do offer decluttering services here and there. If you're not selling as well, if you want to go to my website at athomewithjess.com .ca, I better say that right. Oh my god,
we'll tag it in. I'll add it, I promise.
And so that way you can see what I have to offer. I also do some talks and workshops and sessions sometimes here and there too, but I find that people are really struggling financially, and it's just a matter of like overconsumption's just in our face constantly, and people are using it as a crutch right now. And this is just some simple solutions to like start to slowly minimize why you're spending and what you're doing with your money, and use it for the real priorities.
Save it, maybe.
Yes, I would save it.
Or use it for something you love. Thing. Yes, or a holiday.
Yes, or put it back into the community where they need it the most.
Love. Yes. Well, you guys, if you want to reach out to Jess, I strongly recommend, if you're thinking about moving, she is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful person who can really help guide you and connect you with the right realtor for you. Especially here in Regina, you need to have a good one. As she's saying, the market's cuckoo right now. So having those right people in place right from the beginning probably is going to make it a lot less stressful. I remember once trying to sell a place myself, and it was a shit show. I was 25. You guys, a realtor, there's a reason why there's realtors in this world. So thank you for all that you're doing inside JC Realty and outside, and just in what you do for our community.
Thank you. Well, thank you for everything you're doing.
We'll have you on again, okay?
Sure, sounds great.
Okay. Hey, everybody. You have a good night, and take care out there.
Good.
It's too easy.